I'm going to be using Super Stable Stitch and Rinse stabilizer. I bought this in error. It's not much use for in the hoop designs that have got embroidered edges because it's very weak and it tears too easily. So I've decided that I'm going to do this stitch along on toilet paper. There's quite a few people that do these, so I thought it'd be fun to give it a go. So I've got my toilet roll, my 5x7 hoop, a ruler, some sort of stick glue, Pritt stick, anything like that, and a pencil. First off, I'm going to hoop my stabilizer. And I'm going to pop it into my machine. I have got, I'm going to be using the Christmas Blocks 2 files, and the one that I've chosen for this is the CB206, which is the Christmas tree. Now you do have to make sure that you get everything aligned right in the middle, because it only just fits on the width of the toilet roll without going over the edge. So now we need to prepare the toilet roll itself. So I'm just going to open that up and I'm going to discard the first few sheets of it. I'll pop them in the loo so that they don't get wasted. Now I'm going to pull forward 4 squares and then double it back on itself. So I've got 2 there and 2 here, and this is going to be the edge that afterwards we'll wrap around the toilet roll and we'll stick it back on there with the glue. So now I want to pop this into my hoop, but I need to align it right in the middle. So I've turned this over so that it's now folded backwards. Just move that. And I need to mark the center of, it's going to stitch in the middle of this piece here. So I need to mark the center with a pencil. So I'm just going to do a very, very, very light line, because I need to be able to rub it out afterwards and not tear the paper either. So there's the center, and that's where I've got to get it underneath my needle. I've got my actual toilet roll sitting on my workbench to the left of me, and I've draped it over the top here and under the foot of my machine. So I now need to make sure that the needle comes down exactly where I've put the cross. So I'm just going to put that down, and I'm just going to use the needle up and down button, not the actual start and stop. So let's just lift that up, and that's bang on in the middle of the cross that I made. Okay, so I can now stitch this. Now, because I'm not using any glue or tape to hold it down, because it would just tear the paper, I'm holding it with my fingers, just making sure that I keep them out of the way of the foot and the needle, because I don't want to be piercing my fingers. So I'm now going to stitch out this design. So there it is, stitched out. I'm now going to trim up the jump threads. Like so. And I can now remove it from the hoop. Now be a little bit careful taking it from the hoop, because you don't want to tear it. Okay, now I'm going to trim along the edge here. Now it has gone over a little bit there, so I need to be a little bit careful. I'm going to leave that piece intact. I think I'm going to use a craft knife to trim this up, and my cutting roll here. Actually, I'm going to use scissors, and I'm going to pull it back like that, just so that I can trim up close without cutting the actual toilet paper itself. Okay, and now let's turn that over, pull that back. I would recommend you do it this way, because by pulling it back, you're only pulling it back to the stitch line anyway, so you're not going to risk cutting the stitches doing it this way, I don't think. Okay. And now this side. Oops. Okay. Where it's actually gone over here, what I'm going to do, you can see there it's actually gone over. I'm going to leave it on the paper and just trim around it, and then trim back to the toilet roll or toilet paper line so that it doesn't show. This design is just a wee tad too big. You could, if you've got software of course, shrink it a little bit, just a tiny bit, so that it fits. So there we have it. So now what I'm going to do is roll this back on the toilet roll. And fold this end back, take my glue stick, just add a little dab of glue down there and stick it back down. And there we have it, an embroidered toilet roll. I hope you enjoyed this. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of any new stitch alongs coming out as they're published. And thank you for joining me. I hope you join me again next time.